Are you concerned that you might be stuffing emotions, or that someone that you love might be stuffing emotions too? In this video, we're going to talk about 7 signs that you are stuffing emotions. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about good communication through the lens of the principle self-government. And emotions are a part of our communication. In this video, we're talking about those. There are proper and improper ways to process your emotions. Some ways of processing emotions will help you feel relieved. They'll help you feel like you're comforted and healed. And then sometimes the ways that you process your emotions will increase your stress, add anxiety, and encourage you to start pulling away from people, maybe even spiraling downward. We want to definitely stay away from any type of emotional processing that points you in a non-productive, even hurtful direction. And stuffing emotions is one of those things that can lead you in that direction if you're not careful. Now, a self-governed person does not rely on others to keep them safe during emotional release, but they know that it's up to them to keep themselves feeling safe during a time when they are releasing emotions. Everyone has to release emotions at some point or another. But a self-governed person is able to determine how and when and if it's necessary to release emotions, and to who. They are very planned in that. So what you need to understand when we're talking about stuffing emotions is, what is it that you have control over when you are releasing emotions, and what do you not have control over when releasing emotions? And how do you pick the proper time and place? I have a lot of videos about emotions on this channel and about accepting no answers for yourself and how to get through hard emotional moments. So I don't have time to go into everything. So hopefully you're subscribed to the channel and you can get those other videos. Let's get right into the 7 signs that you are stuffing emotions. Sign number 1 that you are stuffing emotions is that you are pessimistic. When you are pessimistic, you're looking at things in a negative light. This means you feel like things happen to you. You might feel a little bit more like a victim of your circumstances. If that's the case, then things aren't going right. Or at the very least, you're not processing them in a way that is going to be healthy for you. You need to talk to somebody. You need to open up about it. This is a sign for you that it is time to release some of those emotions in some way. And I do have other videos that talk about exactly how to release them. So be sure to stay tuned for that. In fact, I'll tell you a video to watch next at the end of this video. Sign number 2, you erupt easily, especially over small things that are happening. If small things are bothering you a lot and you get triggered very quickly over little teeny things, like maybe someone doesn't take over their dish and then you get upset about it, you have to think about that situation more. Someone didn't take over their dish. You probably thought to yourself, they never help out. They don't care. They don't seem to pull their weight around here. There's something else that happened inside your head which ended up leading to you going, I'm done with this, and then erupting. That means that you've had feelings of frustration about that person. There has been an issue in the relationship that you've probably needed to talk about for a very long time. You haven't brought it up. You haven't had that crucial conversation with them. And so instead, you've been holding on to it, focusing on it, stuffing it down, and now you're just blowing up at every little thing. Number 3. You act ultra happy when you're around people, but you avoid any really meaningful conversation. So you keep things just on the surface and really happy and bubbly and maybe even showing off a little bit. Sometimes people just go for positive attention seeking instead of actually discussing. I know that it seems like you're stepping up to the situation, a difficult task, by just putting on a happy face. And it's good that you're able to choose to do that and actually follow through with it. But it doesn't quite feel right to you or to other people, and people will know something's wrong. Choose to be happy, choose to look at the good, but you also need to make sure that you have the important conversations that you need to with the person. And if you don't know how to have those important conversations, then be sure to get some help from someone who is good at having those important conversations about feelings. Some people are just so insecure discussing how they feel about something that they avoid it altogether and try to pretend nothing's going on. Over time, this can create a very big relationship problem. Number 4, you look for ways to distract yourself so that you avoid having to think about an issue or having to discuss an issue that probably really needs to be discussed. When we avoid thinking about how we feel, that is a sign that we need to have an important conversation with someone. Some people use technology for avoidance. Some people will use other social things or maybe sports. They'll pick an outlet that they can get lost in so that they don't have to think about how they feel anymore. Discussing our feelings is a very therapeutic and healthy thing if we know how to do it correctly. If we get distracted or create a habit of willingly distracting ourselves, getting lost in news feeds and stuff like that on a regular basis so that we don't have to think about how we're feeling and our communication issues that we're having with other people, it can actually cause other issues. Dependency, addiction, those types of things that can actually lead to depression, anxiety, make us feel worse about ourselves, which can lead us further away from getting a handle on our feelings and being open with other people. In fact, it can end up closing us down even more. So definitely don't choose distraction techniques. Number 5, if you feel like you are living 2 different versions of your own life, that maybe there are 2 different versions of you, then that could be a sign that you are stuffing your emotions. If you act differently when you're with others than how you think you really are, then you might be having a hard time even knowing who you really are. And that is a sign that you really need to get in touch with what is going on the inside of you. It's time to talk about it. Sign number 6. If you feel disconnected from others or like you're watching yourself live, this could be a sign that you have some emotions that need to be handled. It's oftentimes a sign of depression or some sort of a chemical imbalance even when you feel like you're watching yourself live. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. I know because I've felt that before. And you're not sure how to get back to grounding and get your bearings back. Well, it could be that you need to talk with someone about what's going on. There might be something that you have not sorted out that you simply need to discuss with someone so that you feel like you can move on. Or it could be that you are experiencing some depression or something else that you need help with. Sign number 7, you avoid confrontation and don't discuss the cause of your emotions. You don't want to address it. You want to hide from the situation. That is a sign that you are stuffing your emotions. Even though you're trying to make it so that you don't feel things, you'll probably still feel things. You can still feel things like anger, frustration, worry, fear, even though you are stuffing your other feelings of anger. You can't get rid of it completely. Many people stuff their emotions because they're trying to avoid anger and pain. And what they don't know is that just because you're avoiding any type of contention or confrontation, that doesn't mean you're going to get rid of any anger or pain. The anger and pain are so deeply rooted, they still persist. And you can even get other new sensations of anger and pain because of other circumstances that are happening around you. If you find yourself trying to avoid contention and trying to avoid conversations with people about important topics, then you probably know that you are trying to stuff emotions. You're hoping maybe that it will just melt away. When you are focusing on something on the inside, it doesn't just melt away. You have to choose to either do something with it or let it go. The only way to get out of the habit of stuffing emotions is to know how to handle them. Emotions are not bad. They're part of being a human. They're one of the things that uniquely make us who we are. Our emotions help us understand when we need to solve a problem. Now, sure, there are productive emotions and non-productive emotions. We need to understand all of those, but we don't need to be afraid of emotions. I think we need to understand our feelings. There is a difference between feelings and emotions. I have videos about that on this channel, so be sure to look into those, because feelings actually come before emotions. And if we understand our feelings, our emotions are a lot easier to handle. And we can create emotional habits that can lead to emotional strength and health and well-being. But let's just understand how we work. That's the important thing. If you are stuffing your emotions, or some people call it bottling up your emotions, you're not handling things and talking about things in effective ways. You're still having a conversation about those emotions all the time. It's just on the inside, and it's going to eat you up. It's not healthy. It hurts relationships with yourself and relationships with others. It stops progress, and it decreases your productivity. So it is important to talk about what's going on with a person that you feel very safe with. Now, if you're trying to help someone who's stuffing their emotions, the best thing that you can do is be that safe person for them. In fact, I have videos on this channel related to having crucial conversations with your children and how to be that safe space for them. There's a great video called How to Get Your Kids to Listen and Engage, all about how to be safe. But I recommend, if you're really interested about more what to do so that you don't keep stuffing emotions, or to help a loved one who you think might be doing this, then I recommend going to my next video. My next video is called Stuffing Emotions versus Choosing Calmness. In that video, we're going to be talking about what to do so that you don't stuff emotions anymore. And I think some of the answers may surprise you.